Okay, so if you've ever like felt that pull, you know that feeling
Yeah.
of blinding lights at 2 a.m., like the night just kind of hooks you in.
Yeah.
You're not alone?
Yeah.
But that's the Weeknd we're talking about.
It is.
And today, we are going deep on Abel Tesfaye.
Okay.
That's the Weeknd. Before we go any further,
Right.
from those early mixtapes,
Yeah.
all the way to global domination,
Yeah.
stadium, Super Bowl, the whole thing.
A whole
And we're trying to figure out what makes his music hit different.
What's always gotten me is he went from basically anonymity, right? Nobody knew who he was.
Right.
To selling out stadiums.
Yeah.
And all while building this like dark and deeply personal world through his music.
Yeah, it's not your typical like manufactured pop star rags to riches.
No.
This is different. We're talking born in Scarborough, which if you're not Canadian, just know it can be rough. Experiencing homelessness as a teenager. Drops out of school at 17. Not exactly like the pop star starter pack.
No, not the usual resume.
Not at all.
And it's almost like those struggles, they fueled his art.
Okay.
And you can see it even in later quotes, after the fame and everything, where he's talking about needing to smarten up, to focus.
Yeah.
And it's not just like him saying words. It's a reflection of a real turning point in his life.
Yeah.
He went through some things.
Okay, so that turning point leads him to music, but he chooses this path of deliberate mystery.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't even show his face for a good chunk of the come up.
Right.
And going by this name, The Weeknd.
Right.
With an E.
Right.
We'll get to that. But like, what was he going for with that? What do you think?
I think it was genius, honestly, because, in a music industry, that is obsessed with image, right?
Oh, yeah.
He basically forced everyone to focus on the sound.
Interesting.
On the raw emotion of it. And those mixtapes that he put out back in 2011, House of Balloons, Thursday, Echoes of Silence.
The trilogy.
They became this like underground sensation.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, think about it. 2 Polaris Prize nominations for mixtapes.
Whoa.
That's unheard of.
Wow.
It really shows the impact he was making already.
Yeah, and you're right. Award shows usually they run from anything that feels, I don't know, too raw or unpolished.
Yeah.
And here he was breaking all the rules and getting accolades for it. But what I find intriguing about that trilogy is the sound. It's alternative R&B, but you listen closer.
Right.
And there's this whole other world unfolding.
It's true. It's like he took R&B, indie, electronic music. You even hear some dream pop and some trip hop in there.
Trip hop.
Yeah, those hypnotic down-tempo beats.
Right.
Often like darker, more of an atmosphere.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah, so he's blending all that together, and it's something totally new, and it connected with people who were hungry for something different, something real.
Really?
He wasn't afraid to experiment, to take R&B and redefine it, make it cool again.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think he succeeded.
He did.
Yeah.
I think he's still succeeding.
Oh, for sure.
And speaking of succeeding, we got to talk about, we got to start with House of Balloons. That title it conjures this mood.
It does.
Intoxicating darkness, allure.
Yeah.
It's a whole vibe.
And it's such a perfect example of his early sound. Like you take a song like Hi for This, that opening track.
Yeah.
It's got these swirling synths. It's slow. It's hypnotic.
Okay.
And then his voice.
Oh, yeah.
That incredible falsetto just drawing you in to his world. Beautiful and unsettling at the same time.
It is.
Yeah, it sets the stage.
And there's something about that mix, even back then, of vulnerability, but also confidence in his voice. You can hear the influences.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Jackson, for sure.
Yeah.
But there's this rawness, this emotional honesty. It just makes it, distinctly The Weeknd.
It does.
And it's not just the vocals, right? The lyrics are.
Oh, absolutely.
They're a whole other.
They're captivating.
Yeah.
He's not shying away from anything. He's singing about heartbreak. He's singing about addiction, about the complexities of fame.
Wow.
But it's all wrapped in this seductive, atmospheric sound.
Okay.
And I think that's what was so refreshing. It felt authentic. Like he was pulling back the curtain on the darker side of life, the side we maybe try to ignore a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And what's so interesting is even with all that darkness, there's this allure.
Yeah.
It's like he makes you want to lean into it a little.
It's true, yeah. He does. He makes it tempting.
Yeah.
But it's not just shock value. It's like he's using those experiences.
Right.
The darkness, like, to fuel the art.
Yeah, yeah.
It's raw, it's confessional, it's real. And I think it resonates because, well, we've all got our things, you know?
Yeah. Exactly. And, that brings us to his influences.
Okay, yeah. Let's get into that.
You hear the Michael Jackson,
For sure.
obviously, but then you dig a little deeper and you find Ethiopian singers like Astor a Week,
Whoa.
even like Grand Theft Auto, Vice City is in the mix.
With
It's
I.
wild.
That's a combo.
Talk about a blend.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And he makes it work. It's like he took all those pieces, from all over the place and just wove them into this sound, his sound. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's what keeps it exciting.
Totally.
You never know what to expect next.
Right.
Speaking of unexpected, we got to talk about that voice.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, those falsettos, the raw emotion. You can't help but think, a little Michael again, right?
Definitely. The influence is there. But even in his vocals, he carves out his own thing,
Okay.
Remember those Ethiopian singers I mentioned? You can hear that in his vibrato.
Really?
Yeah. It's subtle, but it's distinct, and it sets him apart.
Yeah, I'm going to have to listen for that.
Yeah, it's a layer you don't hear a lot of people talking about,
Okay.
but it adds another dimension to what he's doing. It's not just imitation, it's like he's integrating these different influences, taking pieces of his musical heritage and blending them into something new.
He created a whole vocal language.
He really did.
And it's perfect for those lyrics, man.
Oh, yeah.
Because, he gets labeled the bad boy, sex, drugs, partying.
Right.
But it's never, like, shallow
No.
or just trying to be provocative.
It's deeper than that.
There's always this longing,
Yeah.
Like he's searching for something more.
It's like he's exploring the dark side of pleasure.
Okay.
That emptiness that can come with excess?
Yeah.
There's a quote from this writer, Hermione Hobie. She describes it as partying as an existential experience.
Wow.
It's not just about having a good time, it's about seeking solace, connection, maybe even escape.
The existential hangover.
Yeah.
After the party's over. Man.
Yeah.
And you can see it even in his videos like Snow Child.
Oh, yeah.
Visually, it's amazing, but it's telling this whole story.
It is.
It's this journey from darkness to, I don't know, maybe light. Self-destruction to self-discovery.
Yeah, and you see him in the video literally shedding his skin, rising from the ashes almost. It's a powerful metaphor for his growth, not just as an artist, but as a person. Like he's saying, I've been through it, and I came out stronger.
And that's huge, right? That journey.
What?
Because it's relatable.
Totally.
He's showing vulnerability, flaws,
Yeah.
and that makes him human. He's not just this icon.
It makes you realize he's been through the ringer.
Right. Like we all have.
Yeah.
And his music, it's reflecting that.
Yeah. The highs, the lows, the pain,
The good, the bad.
the truth.
Yeah. And that honesty, that willingness to be vulnerable like that.
That's what makes it so powerful.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to confront those darker parts of himself, of human nature, really.
Yeah.
And that's what resonates with people who are dealing with that stuff themselves.
It's what makes him such a fascinating subject for this, wouldn't you say?
Totally.
I mean, this is a guy who can write a song like Can't Feel My Face, you know?
Yeah.
Anthem for just like pushing it to the limit.
Right.
And then turn around and talk about like empathy and taking action on a global scale.
It's true.
It makes you realize these artists, they're not one-dimensional,
Yeah.
They're complex, layers to uncover.
And speaking of defying expectations,
Yeah.
remember when he hinted at retiring like The Weeknd
Oh, yeah.
as a persona? What's next for Abel Tesfaye, the man?
Right. Like, what does that even mean?
Exactly.
It's like he's constantly evolving,
yeah.
shedding that skin, and we're here for the ride.
Right. And you got to admire that.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of artistic, I don't know, restlessness.
Yeah, it's what keeps things interesting.
It keeps us guessing. And that's good. It's true.
He could easily just, I don't know, chill.
Yeah, kick back.
He's achieved so much.
Right.
But it's like he's not content to just rest. He's mentioned going by his birth name.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even a whole new persona.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's a clean slate.
Imagine that.
Wow.
Whole new creative direction.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting.
Oh, it is.
But also, like, what does that mean for the music?
Right.
Is it going to be a complete 180?
Old departure.
Or will we still hear, that Weeknd DNA in there?
That's the question, isn't it?
It is the $1 million question. But, I mean, if his past is anything to go by,
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be unexpected. It's going to be probably groundbreaking.
Probably.
And it'll definitely make us think.
He's going to make you think.
Because that's what he does. That's Abel.
He pushes those boundaries, challenges himself, challenges us. I don't know about you, but I find that inspiring.
Absolutely.
This constant growth.
Yeah.
As a person, as an artist.
It's a good reminder that our journeys, they're never really finished, are they?
It's true.
Always something new to discover about ourselves, about the world.
And sometimes you need an artist, someone like the Weeknd, to kind of hold up that mirror, help you see yourself a little better.
For sure.
So next time you're, listening to the Weeknd, whether it's those early mixtapes or the latest, just remember you're not just hearing music.
It's more than that.
You're hearing an evolution, a journey, the human experience in all its, messiness.
Yeah, all of it.
And that's pretty powerful. Thanks for diving deep with us.
Yeah.
And keep exploring.
Yeah, keep going deeper.